Well, gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's an absolute honor to have you guys here. Welcome to the audience. This is a GSG Podcast where we basically are just shining lights on everything in the gaming industry in South Africa, where we're seeing people from cosplayers to artists to esports, hosting events, everything like that. We cover everything like that under the sun. On the website, we do everything. So today we have, obviously, the founder of the CML, and then we have Mr. Brown as well, which has played a pinnacle part in the development and growth of the CML. So, gentlemen, welcome. Devan, Mr. Brown, how are you doing
pleasure
today?
to be here. I'm fantastic. Lucky to be live.
Awesome. Good introduction. Thank you.
I try my best. So, gentlemen, before we get into everything, I just wanted to say thank you again for allowing me to have this opportunity with you. And everyone that is watching this will be recorded and will be posted onto YouTube. We'll leave everything in the description below. It will be YouTube, Spotify, so wherever you want to see it, you can see it. Please don't forget to support your local artists, teams, everything. Gaming, if it's local, support it because we need it. And it just helps grow South Africa as a whole. So, gentlemen, before we get into all the hard questions, and I also have a surprise question for you right at the end, but I didn't want to tell you about that. But we'll get to that one. Basically, I just wanted to quickly just have a brief description about yourself, and whoever wants to start, you can put your hand up, or if you just want to jump in, just a brief description about you and basically how you got involved with everything. Dota and the company.
I'll start off here. So yeah, my name is Divan, or Dota name or gaming name, Obut Old School. So yeah, guys, I'm about almost 40 years old, 84 baby, born in Rustenburg, went to a university in Potch, went overseas for a gap year in England, and even went to where you are currently, Mr. Ghettosmurf, in Ireland. What a lekker plek, eh?
Yeah, man.
And and now I'm finding myself here in Pretoria, selling houses and co-running a lekker esports league for Dota and having fun all the way.
Awesome. Mr. Brown, your turn.
Yeah. All right, cool. Hey, guys, I'm Mr. Brown. I've been around in the community for a long time. I did competitive esports myself. Back then it was NAG, the gaming magazine, and they used to run NGL, which is the NAG Gaming League. In 2011, we won Rage for the first time for League of Legends back then. It was in that transition period, after Dota 1, before Dota 2 was really a thing, and everyone was either HON or League of Legends. And we ended up going to League of Legends. We ended up winning the thing. And super excited to go through the entire process, had coaches, spent a lot of money and a lot of time getting through the process. And then right at the end of it, the sponsor pulled out because it was going to be the last NGL ever. VS Gaming was taking over, or back then Do Gaming League, so it was DGL. They were taking over, and the sponsors pulled out of the League of Legends tournament. So I ended up winning. I mean, I spent $5,000 plus for the year, and I ended up winning Harry Potter, Need for Speed Pro Street, a mouse pad, and 20,000 RP, which back then was a lot, but I mean, it's not exactly what you would expect from the most prestigious, biggest tournaments in South Africa. So back then, I made a vow, my biggest thing or goal in South Africa, and I don't mind how much I have to give or spend. I want to make the esports scene better for everyone else. I found it that way, and it was great, and it was awesome. But I can't go to America because I won NGL back then. So. Yeah. I want to get esports to a point where we can get to international competition as well.
That's the dream.
No, that's what it's all about, I think. And there's just two things I want to touch on. At least you won Need for Speed, dude. Come on.
That loading screen goal was quite hot, you.
Exactly. But I can just see that you said you want to make the scene. That's what it is, and I think this is basically what we are trying to do here at Ghettosmurf Gaming. That's why we have these GSG podcasts, and we speak to artists, we speak to The previous person we had was an artist. The previous one today was a comic book creator, but he did 3D comics. So basically, you take an app, and I'll link that in the description as well. You can see that you take an app and then you go over the book, and the whole comic book comes in front of your face here. And I was like, this is here. It's local. It's all local. And it's not like some of the art. You have artists, but the problem is you have one or two artists here and there that get success, but it's not this collaborative environment. And I've said it probably every single podcast that I see a change in the community where there's a lot more collaboration happening, but the people that are very successful still try to hold on to that success. Like they don't want to, they gatekeep it. You know what I'm saying? But I see it slowly changing. But that's basically what it's all about. And this is what I love hearing is when people say like they want to change it, no matter what it takes. If it's money involved, if it's this, because unfortunately, financial things do come into play when it comes to this. Unfortunately, you have money needs to be put in, and that goes for competitions. It goes for everything. There needs to be some form of financial backing. So it's fantastic to hear you guys saying that. And wow. So basically, we have touched on that. I also wanted to find out as well is for you, Mr. Obut, I just want to really know, because I'm sure a lot of people know about why and how, but maybe there aren't people that know. Yeah. So how did CML come about? Why did you start it? And what sparked the interest for you to say, you know what, actually, let me do this and give it a go?
So Dota, for most guys, is just a hobby outside work life. Played a couple of hours at night. And yeah, I was a successful marketing manager in Rustenburg, doing a massive launches for all the new vehicles and center stage in the malls and lights and flash mobs and things. And yeah, suddenly COVID happened. And yeah, I got retrenched, which was quite a fun experience. Yeah. And yeah, I told my partner, Santi, you can cry about this or you can just try something. And I loved playing Dota, right? And I told her, I'm going to do a league. There's going to be loads of guys that can't play action cricket now or touch rugby or whatever. They need to stay at home. So I played for I think it was the whole of April. I played it was May 2020. The first league was June. I played 10 pubs a day and just spammed, guys, I'm starting a tournament month end. Here's the website address. And after all those games, we managed 6 teams, right? But 6 teams was amazing back then. And the league steadily grew 2 teams per month for the first year. And when we wiped our eyes, we had we had 2 40+ months, which is fantastic. So yeah, out of necessity, I needed to get some money every month coming in for debit orders and stuff. And yeah, Dota was my savior. And yeah, now it's a lucky thing. We are 3 shareholders, and yeah, it's enjoying every second of it.
No, man, that's awesome. I love to hear what you said. You can either cry about it or, do something about it. And you did something about it. Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, I was also put in the same capital. I also got my business plummeted during COVID. So, you make a plan, and it's really awesome to hear things like that when you are saying that. And to take it into retrospect of the fact that you said, well, no one's playing action cricket. You can't play soccer. You can't go surf because there were surfers getting arrested. So what's the next big thing? Let's get everyone together. Let's play some online games and start a league. And I remember it was the beer league. And
the first 3 or 4 months, there was no prizes, right? Nothing. There was the beers later. One of the big friends of CML, he said he'll sponsor a case of beer. And the beers grew to, 2 cases of beer and 5 mugs or whatever. So it just evolved to treat the teams in a sense.
Yes. Right? Yeah. No, but that's some form of small incentive. And this is when I'm going to get into the next thing. And I've brushed on this before. And I remember I was speaking to Brandon from Let It Be. He's a South African artist. And he didn't know about any of this, but obviously he wasn't in the Dota scene. So I told him, go check this out. And then we had a discussion, and we had a podcast when he was on the podcast, and we were just talking. I said to him, you understand what this has done? So he's like, you're giving people a chance to play Dota. And I said, no. What your league has done, and this is the biggest thing, and this is why I said to you, we needed to have this podcast, is maybe without you realizing, you are building the grassroots in Dota. This league, because it is the most consistent league, period.
Grassroots levels, trenches of SA Dota.
Yes,
here we go.
But this is the thing. I think when I spoke to you last time on Twitch, it was that maybe you did realize it, maybe you didn't realize it, but you were building the grassroots for Dota, the Dota scene in South Africa, not just in Gauteng, in South Africa.
Yeah.
Because for you to get into the next level, to go to the Telcoms, all those, you needed really good teams. And not everyone wants to or could possibly compete to that level.
Yes.
And would never be invited. So what the CML did was it gained entry for you to get into those playoff, making teams, finding new players. And that grassroots was never really there, or wasn't really developed in South Africa. Let's just be honest, because people just play Dota and just, there's my rank. I'm Herald 4. Yay!
And the thing is, you want to have fun when playing Dota. And ask Mr. Brown, we even have a D division, right? And the guys win mugs, and so they never have to compete against the best of SA. Their level guys, they just want to relax after work and play 50-minute game and not get stomped in 20 minutes or whatever. So, we would like to make it fun for all levels, in a sense.
Yes. And I think that is the main thing. If it was the whole thing, everything has to be, you're here to have fun. Even though if you want to go into a more competitive level, you're here to have fun. But with that having fun, you're busy building grassroots. You're busy building. Someone might spark an interest, and so I say, you know what, actually, maybe let me take this a step further. Let me try and let me message, I don't know, Jan van Riebeek from this team and say, hey, Jan, this is me as my Dota buff. I played for this team. We won the couple divisions of the CML. So maybe you have a spot for me as a sub or something. And who knows, you might just get pushed to another team. I'm trying, as a good example, funny enough, so we're going off topic of Dota, but just briefly. So we have a CSGO team now and a League of Legends team, female team, completely female teams that are currently now competing internationally. Like as I watched their game today when I was sitting at work, just trying to on my phone in their Twitch, but these are completely female teams. They've actually made it to the point where they're competing for the World Championships for a festival called Gold Gamer.
Wow.
So you got Team Valkyrie, which is our League of Legends team. So, and I know one of the chicks that's there. And I was just saying, there's no grassroots there either. Legitimately, there's nothing.
Yeah.
But you and your organization has started to build the grassroots for Dota. But now we just need to see Dota move.
We had a girl league. You won't believe, Ghetto. I don't know if you, Mr. Brown, were part of the league in 2020. I think it was November. We had, at some stage, 4 girl teams competing in their own ladies division.
Isn't that where NWB comes from?
Yes, that's where we developed all these lady teams. And at some stage, they wanted to play with the boys. They wanted to go through the ranks of the C div and the B div.
Oh, yeah.
And we have had 2 ladies champions, right? Even the captains of teams winning the A division. That's a girl, guys. Some of the girls hit very hard. I don't know if you know the Bubbles of the world. Yeah, Cupcake is doing fantastic as we're speaking now in her Evasive Valor team. So there's very good lady captains out there.
But that's what I'm coming down to is it's just these grassroots for any esports scene. But fundamentally, I do believe, and it's my personal opinion, but I guarantee everyone can agree with you, that you have done so much for Dota 2 in South Africa, or this organization has done so much for Dota 2 in South Africa, because again, like I said from the beginning, you are the most consistent league.
Yeah, I think we skipped maybe 1 month in June. We're turning 3 years old, right? We skipped 1 month, right? But we've been playing month in and month out for the last 3 years, actually.
And that's the point. Because I mean, it's all fair and well to have like your big telecom cups, and like they do also. It's fantastic that they're giving such big prize pools, and Eve Tech giving away these big prize pools and making these big productions. It's beautiful. I love it. But the thing is, again, it's not sustainable. It's once every year, maybe once every twice a year, or whatever the case may be. Where this is something consistent, this keeps the level of competitiveness constantly going. Because you remember, like, if you're not competing all the time, you're just you slump and you hit that plateau, and then there's nothing for you to aim for anymore. So that's fundamentally where the grassroots is. It's to build that within smaller teams, and if there's 150,000 small teams, it's just so much better instead of having only 5 teams in South Africa.
No, for sure. It's like, and to meet the guys in clubs as well.
Exactly.
And also the game completely transforms. Like when you're a single player person, you think about the game in specific ways, and you're basically just trying to solve the puzzle. As soon as you move over to a multiplayer platform where you start playing against other people, that competitiveness within a person kind of kicks into overdrive, and now you got to like either showboats, or you got to pull out some really cool hat trick in the game, and that becomes really cool in like pubs and things. But you can only grow until a certain point, and you'll see like I believe it's not Team Ethereal, it's GHC. GHC doesn't have an Immortal on their team, but they're like consistently actually doing really well against Team Ethereal and Team Ryoku, who are like, they are prop full with Immortal players. And that's the beauty of competitive and in general, just what CML does as well, is the game completely transforms in another layer as soon as you move from like public or ranked to a structured competitive format, like the captain's mode stuff. And like, you can be the best player in South Africa. That doesn't mean that you're going to be winning first prize in the CML tournament at all. Yeah. Like, you 100%. Need to
it's all
do
teamwork,
everything
guys.
From there. Yeah.
I'm playing for the coffins, right? My favorite hero is like a leech and a sniper and a Marana and things. But for us to win games, they give me a Jakiro or an Ogre or whatever and learn to play it on the job. And it's winning us games, not to comfort pick and play with a plan and a strategy. And that's why I love being in the coffins. It's so much different than just playing a pub or whatever. It brings how can I put this? I'm so excited about that 1 or 2 games a week.
Exactly. And I think that's what it comes down to, like you said, it's the fun aspect of it. Even though it's competitive, it's still, you get all hyped up because you're like, okay, boys, we're competing, or girls, we're competing. Exactly. But it is. And like, again, I just want to commend you on all you have done in your entirety of the entire organization, because like you said, you're not just one man anymore, like you were in the beginning.
I got a baby, Mr. Ghettosmurf, so I was living the dream, enjoying just doing Dota for a life, and whoop, baby on the way. So then I had to get a real job as well.
Yeah.
So now we are free. It's Lily. She's more like on the marketing side of things. Have a look at our beautiful website, www.cmldota.com. She's our marketing wizard. And then we have Nina. Nina is, she just makes everything work, and she has all the admins, and she writes the emails. She's like the well-spoken one of the three in a sense.
That's perfect.
Yeah, I'm more on the fantasy league side of things, hosting the lobbies and getting all the teams to actually play per month, right? I'm the fire starter in a sense.
There we go. That's the one. And I mean, what I want to, there's just one more thing before I go into the hardcore, the very more technical and controversial questions, let's call it that, is I just want to go back, let's just say towards the beginning and like the mid stages of the CML, where how did you deal with some of the people? Like, I don't know, I was there, I was reading all this crap, and I'm going to say crap, and if I call someone else, I'll call them out. I don't care. There were a lot of people that used to talk shit about this division or this league, and they were like, this man is ripping you off. How can you pay 500 Rand to win a case of beer? and you would see a lot of people bitching and moaning, but then there were people defending you because they knew what the actual bigger picture was.
So
what you were doing.
What I did is, right, I think I advertised like once on Facebook to see if I can get a team or two to join. And it wasn't nice, what the guys are writing. And the first time I saw something, it's a scam, then I was just like, I never need to advertise again, right? Be happy with my 6 teams, it will grow. 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Just keep the guys happy that's there completely. They will tell their friends, and it naturally just grew without having to do one single post on Facebook to get teams, right? So I only posted fixtures. So that was my rule to myself, is never get into that position again of needing this advertisement to get teams. Just be yourself, keep the guys happy. That it will be a success if everyone is just smiling and stuff. And so that's how I handled it. I just didn't try to run a league from a social post.
Easy. And I think I learned that lesson the hard way, because I remember I was helping that one company with their league, and same thing. And that's why I had to ask you this question, because eventually I just ignored everything. But in the beginning, when legitimately, this is I want to help SA Dota. I'm so invested in Dota. So 10,000 Rand comes out of your own pocket for you to invest into the scene. And the first thing is, it's a scam, and then everyone just goes.
And we took the money out of it, right? So the first 2 years of CML, there was no money involved. Case of beer or 2 cases and mugs. If you take money out of the equation, guys are more relaxed as well. They don't fight over a pause or whatever. But this year, we are actually a money league. You won't believe we're giving out $5,000 already. End of February, we're giving out another 5,000 end of March. One of the league guys next to me here is a $10,000 inverter that he's giving away. So we are turning now a little bit into money league. But the reason for that is electricity. We can't play finals. We can't play knockouts. So it's like this ladder system, and that's the only thing that currently can work. Is 2 best out of ones a week. No finals, no knockouts. But we will be going back to divisions when electricity settles down, I think.
It's such a blessing. I don't even want to get into load shedding, but I understand completely. And in the end, you need the company needs to grow. So financially, it is feasible for you there to be money involved, of course. What you did was perfect, because I remember when I was advertising for that company, said, guys, here's the league, boom, and all the flack you got. And then in my post, they were shaming your league. And I was like, it's got nothing to do with it. How does CML have got anything to do with my league?
But there will always be haters out there. But
there will always be. But you know what the end of the day was? Teams still played. The teams got all their money. No one got short paid. There was, and then afterwards they ask you, "Are you doing it again?" Unfortunately, the company that was investing into this, they were like, "Nah, you know what? Not Dota." So they went and took their money. You know where they put their money? Into CS:GO. Because they were like, the Dota community is just too toxic for me to put my money here. And I was like, do you understand? And that's why I said to you, I had to ask you how you dealt with it, because I've seen so many leagues pop up and disappear.
Just sometimes be consistent and keep the guys happy. That's all that you can do.
there are times where there is scams. Don't get me wrong. Some people just out there to make a quick buck. But there are people that fully want to invest in it, like yourself. And those are the people that get all the flack because of one person's mistake that tried to zick money from everyone. But anyway,
I think you must actually ask Mr. Brown, his road in CML, because I think he started out as a normal player, only later becoming a caster. He can actually give you a little bit of insights how it is to be a player in the league or whatever.
Yeah, no, please. You can give anything we just touched on.
I believe the first time I actually joined a CML team was for the Ferris team if I'm not mistaken.
Vicious Vixen.
So
Yo.
Vicious Vixens was an all-female team. They wanted to move over to the guys' leagues, or like also compete there.
Yeah.
And they realized that like they needed at least 2 guys to play. So it was me and CZ that initially joined, and then with Ferris mid, I believe it was Mal in the safe lane and her sister in the off lane. So it was 3 girls and 2 guys, and that's kind of where it started. Was like, I can't remember that I played in CML before that, if I'm completely honest. And then from there, you just kind of like, once you're done with that team, another team just randomly invites you, and that happened to me the one time. I got a random Dota invite from someone I've never seen or played with before, and he's like, "Listen, I saw you playing in CML, and I know you are a div player, but we need someone to like step in. We're a lot younger. A lot of us are still in high school, and we want to like give it a go. We need someone to like show us the ropes and maybe coach us a little bit." So I ended up joining that team as like a player, but also as a coach, mentoring them in a bunch of different aspects. And so I did like, I think, a season of that with them, and then moved on between a bunch of different teams, subbed quite a bit, gave the league a proper go when I created my own team, from like buddies that we regularly pub with.
Yeah.
And, you know, in pubs, a lot of people complain about like the duck stack, for example, and we used to like regularly beat duck stack. So we were like, why don't we just try CML? So I wrote them in. We did 1 season of CML, and after that, the guys were like, sorry, life happens. I got a new job. This guy's getting married. So I decided, okay, well, I don't really have the time to practice per se, but I still love the game. Me personally, I have been playing Dota since Dota 1 days. I've been following the professional scene as if like a lot of people are really into rugby. I'm the guy that would like put up a projector at my house and invite a few friends over for the TI finals and things.
Epic.
That is dope.
Yeah, so that's my life. I've been very passionate about Dota for a very long time, and so I was like, okay, the good casters like Snare, he's now gone to DPC. We don't have a caster with like a relatively good knowledge of the high level plays that are happening in South Africa. I don't cast, but I can give it a shot.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that came about, was like, okay, I understand the intricacies of professional play. Let me get into this as a caster and give that a go. And I think it's been going absolutely crazy. Like the teams are really turning up the heat now more recently, and I love to see the support we are getting on like Twitch specifically. I know Obut has started the fantasy league as well, so getting guys a little bit more involved. Some really cool ideas that he's got there, and it's a really fun thing to do in general as well. It's not like you're just watching the game. You actually have like a fantasy card and you're betting on this player, and you're sitting there and you're rooting for your team or your player to win or do well. You know, it's not just the thing of I'm watching this team playing against another team. So I mean, in general, it's actually quite cool. It is growing. It is actually growing, and I'm super excited to see what the future of it looks like.
Guys,
man, that's
we have a sponsor. We will make a nice announcement next Sunday with the Super Spin. But be excited for CML. It's our first sponsor that's not like a oak in the league being nice, right? It's a proper business, and we are super excited at CML for getting our first proper sponsor.
That's awesome. So let's hop now quickly into some of the more
go for it.
Technical questions. All right. So I wanted to quickly just ask you, in both your opinions, and then I might just hop in and give you a little bit of mine as well. So everything is basically opinion based, but obviously there are certain facts and everything. So I just wanted to find out, how would you describe the current state in Dota 2 in South Africa, and if there's any potential for it to grow and develop?
It's volatile at the moment, but it's volatile. Remember, you have 5 guys on your team. That's not your subs, right? Living in different places of the country on different electricity grids. How can you practice? It's actually at the moment very almost impossible to get structured Dota underway. We are doing emergency leagues now, only 2 best out of ones a week. That's not Dota, guys. Dota is playing a best out of 3. Mr. Brown has casted best out of 5s, right? It's that second game when you see, okay, this is how the guys are playing, right? To move it and adjust and win game 2 and win game 3. So it's almost like we're playing action cricket at the moment, right? We love test match cricket, but we have to play now a lower format of the game just to play something. Something is better than nothing, right? So I would say as the only way South Africa will move forward with Dota is if we get electricity back. And even if we get electricity back, there's loads of other things that have to come to the party then. We have to, even if you see CML as grassroots Dota, it needs to go to schools, primary schools, get more girls involved, and then proper coaching through those channels to actually get the guys to actually play good Dota. Imagine a high school guy, he goes now into a pub, right? He will be tear the pot. He will uninstall Dota by the guys flaming him. What are you doing? This blah, blah, blah. So when you get new guys involved in Dota, to actually nurture them and just get them pub ready in a sense.
I do feel like I need to define that a pub if there's anyone who doesn't play Dota, a pub is not a bar, it's a public match.
No Jagermeisters.
No high schoolers going into pubs here. No, not at all.
No. And Mr. Brown, your opinion on that, like the state of Dota currently?
So as I said, I've been involved in esports in a long time, and it's not only it's not only specifically or partial to Dota. I've also done CS:GO things in the past. I personally have also hosted tournaments in Poch, actually. So I don't know, maybe when you were still on varsity, you might have attended one, Obert.
I was in Bourbon and stress.
Dit's moenie uitpraat nie. But so I've been around for a while, and I mean, to be honest, it's not that it's died, it just hasn't gone anywhere. It's stagnated. Where one thing used to be super prominent, that thing has kind of collapsed or has disappeared slightly, and someone else had to pull up the slack a little bit. And there's a lot of reasons for that, and I can go into very intricate details on the state of esports at the moment. But I think the most important thing is that there is always potential for growth. There is a high engagement from a lot of people, and that at least when it comes to tournaments, there are people willing to get involved. Maybe they don't know how, maybe they haven't actually tried to get into it, but Obert, I believe the most teams you had was 24
in 1 month. 45, but we had 5 different 45. Divisions, right? The month that you did the Prem division, we had Prem, D, A, B, and C. It was 44 teams or something, but it was crazy.
It was so. I mean, that in itself is a crazy amount of people already. And the other day, I just for the giggles of it went on to the old VS Gaming portal. They've got a form and everything, and you can check out stats of players. They've got over 6,000 registered players there.
Wow.
That is your potential market at the moment. So it can grow. It can become what it needs to be, but we're almost at the beginning stages once again, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I agree. So this kind of goes parts and parcel with the first question. So, and I'll quickly just give you my little opinion, is like, what are the biggest challenges facing the Dota scene and the players and the teams overall? And they kind of, like you said, like, in my opinion, like you kind of hit the nail on the head. Load shedding, obviously, it is a huge problem. It is, like, you can't hide behind it, and you can't. And people, yes, you can't always make it as an excuse, but unfortunately, the infrastructure is a huge thing. If there's no bloody power, there's no bloody power. There's no internet. You can't play. So it does hinder the esports scene dramatically. I mean, shucks, sorry about that. I mean, when I was at Comic-Con, when I was at Rage, so I was there just helping promote stuff. We even had load shedding at Rage, and you have to then have to make that public announcement and say,
is that from last year, right?
Load shedding now. Yeah. Put off your computers, please. Put off your computers just in case it goes poof. Imagine. So definitely, 100%. Load shedding is a huge factor, and it's exceptionally difficult. And like another thing that you touched on, Obut, was like the infrastructure in terms of like developing at a younger age. Like esports it's huge. It is. The gaming industry is bigger than the movie industry currently.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Statistically speaking, that is wait. We can't even cut that out because this is on a live stream. Statistically speaking, that it is. It makes more money, okay? But I think in developing countries like South Africa in the esports scene, because South Africa is a developing country in esports as a whole, because we have phenomenal players. It's difficult for them to get out there currently.
Oh, but shout out to Mr. Castaway. I spoke to him today. I don't know if you guys saw his team is qualified for some kind of a DPC thingy. He's living the dream and he's playing it from SA, right? So there is...
At the moment, yeah.
Yeah, he said he's like on 140 ping and just hoping the power doesn't go off. And so Mr. Castaway, I think, is the first South African to be actually playing in that league that he mentioned to me today.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Let me see, but that's my point, is there are a lot of, I think some of the biggest problems we do have is it's all external factors that come into what is the problem with South African esports scene or Dota scene, whatever it can be. Like you said, no power. But there are other things, but I would like to hear your opinions on, besides load shedding, if there's anything else you can add to that, what you think are smaller issues or big issues facing. Because I know, Mr. Brown, you did say there's a technical thing about the esports scene. I would love to hear about that.
Do you want me to start? Or
go for it, Mr. Brown. Go for it.
Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, in general, there's this kind of trifecta of issues at the moment. You know, in order to get competitive teams, you need to have orgs. In order to have orgs, you need to have sponsors. In order to have sponsors, you need to have tournaments. And since none of those exist, somewhere it needs to kind of like start off at the beginning. We used to have a phase in South African esports where we had a lot of very prominent orgs. And one of the orgs that you can definitely go and have a look at is Bravado Gaming. Yeah, I think it might be the oldest org in South Africa across the board for esports. And they've actually had very accomplished and successful players go overseas. And I believe, at least in CSGO, JT and Sonic are now playing for like American or Canadian teams or something. So, I mean, those guys are like doing really well. And I think if you wanted to know what success looks like, they would be the best people to speak to. But in terms of like local, if we go down to like your B div, C div, you know, let's just talk about the average gamer getting into competitive play at the moment. The biggest challenge is normally like actually getting onto a platform that is consistent, which like now that we have CML, it's very consistent. People know about it. People know it's not going away type of thing. It's very good. The next phase would obviously be to reestablish those orgs. Now, the big problem was prior, it was a bunch of high school guys get together, create a team, call it an org, and then you go and grab a few sponsors. And then like 3 or whatever months down the line, the org just disbands and they yoink all the sponsorship money, and that actually hurt the business relations with organizations in general. And that actually turned around and had a very negative effect on esports as well, because now they had a sour taste. So I think the big thing would be eventually, if we do get to the stage of orgs again, where that is a little bit more structured, maybe have like proper player contracts and follow a little bit more of a internationally deemed like proper format for orgs, where like players are actually contracted. I'm not saying that they need to be salaried. I think we are still quite far away from that. But like where you could at least have a contract with a player and say that you are committing for like 6 to 12 months to be a part of this team. Because at the moment, like a big problem is you have teams join, like get together, a bunch of friends, they try CML 1 month, and then, you know, things don't go well. Like sometimes you realize you're not the best frog in the pond, or the biggest fish, you know, and things don't go your way. And then these guys just jump right off again instead of actually like giving it another go, or, you know, persisting a little bit. And I'm not saying that it's an issue with the tournament format per se. Maybe it's more of a little bit of a cultural thing in South Africa, that people just kind of like, I don't want to put in the effort for it. Like, I'm not going to get anything out of it anyway, so what's the point? So like, it could be one of those things. But the good news is that it is escalating now, both in Dota and CSGO. My only wish is that it like follows a little bit more structure. There is also a lot of stuff that we can talk about MSSA. I don't know if you guys know about MSSA.
Not too clued up, so you can just give us a brief on that.
Okay. MSSA, Mindsport South Africa, is a publicly acclaimed MPO. So in other words, it's registered at SASA, which is the Sports Administration of South Africa. So in other words, at MSSA, you have your regional, provincial, regional, provincial leagues or tournaments or whatever, and then the people who win the regionals, they get South African or national colors, and then they get to go compete overseas. So Obed, like Cuckoo, I believe he went to go play in Russia because they won the MSSA tournament.
Is one of the players. He started out in CML and worked his way through the ranks. Eventually, when you casted him in Prem, and he sent me a message out of Russia. Thanks, Obud. CML has gave me the opportunity, in a sense, to play in Russia. Thanks, Obud. And I was like, okay, well done, Obud. Yeah. Kick ass of your draw over there.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I mean, with MSSA, there is a little bit more structure coming in, but at the same time, it's also sports politics. Like, you have to join a club, and then the club needs to do this, and then that needs to happen there, and it's a little bit of a schlep, to be honest, at the moment. It almost feels like a hurdle that a lot of people need to get over. But in the meanwhile, leagues and things with regards to like CML are all we really need at the moment. As long as it keeps going, there will be more engagement. It will grow. So yeah, there's a lot of topics that covered there.
Yeah, no, definitely. But that's you hit the nail right on the head, because I think one of the biggest, I won't say one of the biggest, in my personal opinion, like you had mentioned, is there needs to be some form of structure. I mean, if you want the South African esports scene in any like in CSGO or Dota or League of Legends, whatever the case may be, or even I don't know what other competitive game you want to be, there needs to be some form of structure where, like you said, players can't just jump ship when you have like your teammate says, yes, like your support in this game was cuck. And then you say, I quit the team. Boom, I'm done. Team. And then the team sits, I start my own team. Yes, I mean, you make another team, but whatever the case may be, but there's no structure. If you want to be at the same level as the European teams or the NA teams, because that's going to be in the next question, but if you want to be on that level, you need to have the same structure as them. They don't do that.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said about that structure as well. Sorry to interrupt you, but I had a discussion with the president of MSSA. I'm sure he still is the president, Colin Webster. He's big thing about esports in general is that it goes against everything that sports go for. If you play like tennis in high school, you're not playing it so that you can win 5,000 Rand at the end of the month. Like esports is a little bit of a niche when it comes to that. What do you win? Like if you play chess in high school, what do you win? You get a trophy. That's it. You play sports for the accolades. And once the accolades come, then everything else, like the financial benefits, come as well. And to be honest, like especially at the moment, esports is not the most expensive sport out there. I've seen some very expensive bicycles, for example.
Sure.
So I mean, like there shouldn't be a reason not to get like involved. I would understand if you had like a 50k Steam account and I need to buy more things to get into this, and then I would like, okay, I understand your point. But most of the people, Dota is a free game, CSGO is a free game. These guys get to play. The skins and stuff are extra. That it's got nothing to do with a game whatsoever, and the competitive integrity is very good. People kind of need to have a little bit of a mind shift and appreciate the competitiveness of the game for what it is, and then like once the esports, I want to say community, but once the scene grows enough back to the point where corporates, for example, will take notice of it again, the sponsorships and the money will start coming in. Like people shouldn't be like, oh, I'm not going to play because the prize money is only 2,000 Rand. It's not worth my time. Like it's a very bad perspective to have. And the really cool thing that CML does is that like every month they've given out trophies. And everyone who have received those trophies, it's a physical thing.
Have you ever gotten
it's not
Mr. Brand?
Me?
Yeah.
I haven't, but it's because you know what happened was I joined the team and I didn't pay my monthly fee. So when we won, I told the captain, sorry, I didn't pay the monthly fee. You get to keep the cup.
What team was that? When did you win?
I'm trying to remember, but I think it was with Red, with
bad luck, bud.
with Kevin. Yeah, but I mean, it was a compromise. I'm like, sorry, I didn't pay my sub, so keep the cup. It's fine. It's whatever. It's not the end of the world. So I know he's got it for sure.
And you, Mr. Ghetto, did you ever get a mug? I remember you played a few times.
No, I think the highest I ranked. I think it was with Forsaken Esports when we came second and we lost the finals, and that was about it. Yeah. My infamous Dark Weller I got banned that match, so
I think Forsaken won the league like twice. I remember giving Mark.
Yeah, when I left, I think it was like 2 or 3 months afterwards. Then and props to them, because that was for me. It was like I would have been dope to have a beer mug, but I enjoyed it because it was fun, and I love I love tipping people in game. That was just that's my thing. Just tip. But anyway, it's fun. Let's moving on quickly, but just to close off on that one, which is going to kind of lead into the next question. But I do, like you said, the mentality and I'm probably going to make a lot of people upset. South Africans, I'm a South African. I love my country, but the mentality of it, it's like you said, it's not playing for the 2,000 Rand prize pool. It's to actually, if you so invest in Dota, then you're not there for the 2,000 Rand. You're there for you're there for the competitiveness. You're there for the entirety of the scene. You're there to build yourself. Forget about the 2,000 Rand. And and it's the same as when I hosted that competition. 10,000 Rand, it's out of your own bloody pockets. It's a lot of money. Sorry, no, it's not tuck shop money. Sorry. And then people will push so much crap down your throat to try and make you seem stupid, and then you have certain tournament organizers trying to gatekeep everything, and then they shove shit down your tournament just so that because they don't want you in the thing, because they want to hold everything to themselves. How does that that mentality needs to change and shift? Because if there are 100, not that many, let's just say if there are 10 competitions that run, okay, so if CML is the most consistent one, then you have one, like let's say, Pete Bombe's competition in March, and then throughout the entirety of CML is there, but you have all these other small ones like every 2-3 months.
So
that's more competitiveness. That's more. It's not. We're not fighting each other for money or players or advertising. You're building the scene. Unfortunately, one company cannot build the entirety of the Dota 2 scene or esports in general. You need a collaborative workforce and all these orgs to actually come together and say, let's help one another.
But that's the thing. Everyone wants to try by themselves, right? And there is oaks out there. Special shout out to the guys from Battlegrounds. I think they're doing a fantastic job, and I think they will be more successful as well when there's power. I love their structure and the more pro. We are a more social and the good vibes and atmosphere, and all the teams playing with us has been playing with us for months, right? They're all chummies.
Yeah.
So they know each other and they're not here for money. Like CML was played 2.5 years, not R1 being given out to teams, right? So the teams that are here, they're not here for money, right? They are here for base races and good plays and rampages and just a good time. So it's for us a little bit weird talking the whole time about monies and stuff. We are the amateur guys, the Carson Vane. Do you know Carson Vane, Ghetto? We are the Carson Vane teams, but the top guys where Mr. Brown plays and Cast, they take it to the next level and they go play other tournaments with the idea of winning money. But with us, it's more for the gears. Even though we are giving a huge amount of money away this year, so far, but it's not the main idea behind CMLs for money every month for the guys. It's
I would love to see a little bit more like content creators getting involved. Like, for example, in America, in North America, they have Dota Cinema, for example, and there's that guy at W200. I think it's W200D who makes those highlight reels, like the Symphony of Skills and whatever.
Yes.
Like I'm 100% honest when I say I have seen some crazy stuff happening in some of these games. The one game, I think like last night I casted a game and there was a Magnus Invoker and he got a 5-man RP into Comets, into the Meteor, and killed the whole team without the POS 1. The POS 1 was dead. It was like final stretch. We need to defend this. And this amazing thing happened. And I'm like, clip that. I clipped that on Twitch. I unfortunately don't have the time to go and video edit these things into like one long video of Symphony of Skills. I would love if someone like had the capacity or the skills to be able to do something like that. There are massive opportunities for that.
Like a TikToks.
We'll talk later. Yeah, but we can talk. I might have someone.
Oh, nice. That would be fantastic.
I'll speak, but we'll talk about that later. But it is. I think if there's more collaboration between everyone, it will just. Because like you said in the beginning, and I know we're going back, but we've now had to go, because during COVID, in the first like year after COVID, there was just competitions left, right, and center. And now we've just been set back, literally back to square one. We need to start from fresh again. And that's just, so how about learning from this? Like, and this is what I said to you, this is why you guys are a prime example. You're still here. You didn't stop. Learn from all the crap that we've just now gone through, and we need to build a platform that if something like this happens, nothing goes back 5 steps, because we moved. So we were moving. We had it was a CML. Then I had a league. It was just like for 1 month. Then there was so many. Then there was the Telcom. Then there was the EveTech one. There was so much happening in one space of 1 year.
I could remember having.
It was beautiful, and the teams were struggling to say, do we do this competition or this competition, or do we try to do all of them? And then organizers from this competition were saying, phone that guy and tell him, can you shift this? It was a huge, but that's what the scene needed.
But that's when we had no power issues, but that was exciting times.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So, but that's what I'm saying. So for us to get back to that, so as soon as power comes back, we need to have that structure again and build it in such a way that if anything happens, we don't go back 5 steps like we have now recently. We just okay, if anything happens, we here. We have the foundations. We have the groundwork that we won't fall and plummet. It's just here so that now moving forward, it's just we can just get back onto that horse and just carry on moving forward instead of saying let's rebuild again because we're constantly rebuilding and we will never get anywhere if we constantly have to take 5 steps back after taking 1 step forward.
No, for sure.
If it makes sense. Okay, so let's go to the next one quickly because I don't want to be. That was a long one, but that was an important one in my opinion. So I wanted to find out from you, okay, what type of government support level do we need, not just for Dota, but let's be on a focus on Dota, but SA Dota as a scene as a whole on how to improve the future of the esports in Dota in South Africa?
I think we need no support from the government, to be honest. We need our own, to use our own brain and go to successful businesses and work with them. What do you want to do with the government? It's leave them alone. Dota is an international game. The government didn't create Dota.
No. Okay, let's just take Dota out of the perspective in terms of when I mean by government support. I mean implementing. I know there are a few companies that are doing it, but implementing what Japan does, Indonesia does, where you have esports as a subject at school, so that it's not a compulsory subject. It's not a compulsory subject. So Japan, China has it, Indonesia has it. I know there's some European countries that have it as well, where esports is an actual subject, not as a tertiary in varsity or something, as in high school and in primary school. They teach you the fundamentals of esport, how it operates. If you would like to go into this, what you need to do. It's not just play a computer game the whole day. It's physical training. There's a lot that goes into it. And there's a company in South Africa called, I think it's RGB Gaming. They are trying to implement this, and they are they are fantastic what they're doing. When they were at Comic-Con and at Rage, they were teaching kids esports, but it's not just about esports. It's teaching them how to develop and create a mindset on how to problem solve in life. So they teach you, when you play Minecraft, I want you to build the Leaning Tower of Pisa, solve it and do it for me. That's how the RGB Gaming is doing it. But when I mean by, in your opinion, how you think government should intervene like that, do you think it would be
if you take a successful school like, let's say, Great College, right? They've produced the most Springboks. I think their past students and the beheerliggaam, what do you call that, Mr. Brown, right? They have more of a say of where rugby is being pushed at Great College than the local municipality or whatever. So I hear you, but I don't think that we can rely on any government things. Our own structures close to us is the way to go. And
I do want to mention as well, so like MSSA, I mentioned this earlier, they are technically the governing body for South African Esports. And they have to fill in or fit into the box of sports in South Africa. And that box is only a small portion of the bigger box, which is international esports. But that international esports actually follows a completely different trajectory. So they follow the IESF, which is the International Esports Federation. And no one knows about IESF. Like, sure, you can get nationals and you get sent over to Dubai, which I believe is that CSGO female team. They went to Dubai and they participated in IESF. But like, if you look at the tip top, the cream of the crop esports, it's actually in commercial. It's more in the capitalistic side of things. They have absolutely nothing to do with esports in general. And I think the reason for that is just because, like, if you get to the government side of things, all of a sudden, so this is completely how it works with MSSA, for example. If I were to go and create a team, and I've got my mates that I play pubs with all the time, I can't play with them in regionals at all, because I need to play with a team of friends that I've made in my school or in my community, in my area. So if I've got a friend who's living in Durban or in Cape Town, and I play with him regularly, I can't play with him in MSSA because that's just how the structure works. which is super unfortunate actually at the end of the day. So like they the look, don't get me wrong, MSSA is doing great things. At the same time, if you do win like regionals, for example, or provincials, even if you only win a provincial title at MSSA, you can use that for a sports bursary at any of the universities. So it's a massive incentive for scholars to actually get involved in esports through them. I would say that is like the main thing that you can do. But once you get to that point, you're never going to be going to America or to these places to join like a Navi or join an EG, OG, or any of those teams. Like you're always going to be stuck within that system. So, I mean, it provides opportunities, but it's very different, if I can put it that way.
Yeah, it also I get you. It's saying I wouldn't say it's limiting, but there is certain limitations for a player. So that kind of leads us into the next question. What I wanted to find out, and again, this is all opinion based, and I'm no professional Dota 2 player, and none of us really are. We haven't held up the TI yet. Or the ages. Sorry. So what strategies do you think are currently happening within Dota 2 teams and players that they are trying to use to perform and to perform at a higher level to try and be seen, or try and get, like you mentioned, Castaway? Like, what are their strategies, if you know, or just have a personal idea on how they are trying to improve at their performance and at their skill sets to try and get there? Because, like we said, SA Dota it's here, and it's not to put SA Dota down. We have phenomenal players, but unfortunately, like the regions, like the European regions, all of that, those guys are on another level. They really are on another level, but it doesn't mean that you can't get there at all. Like you said, Castaway is a prime example. What do you think they should do, or what are they implementing?
You need to realize at the same time that, like, Southeast Asia and South America, like the East Coast and then Talon, Boom Esports, these guys had to have like 5 to 10 years of predecessors for them to be able to compete there at that point. The current the biggest problem, I guess, at the moment isn't necessarily the skill gap. It's actually exposure. It's being able to play or compete at some level. It doesn't have to be at the highest level, but at some level with international organizations. And I don't necessarily think that the issue lies within South Africa. I think the bigger problem is actually in the international esports side of things. Like, they don't really have the facilities to be inclusive of countries that aren't currently in their scope of things, right? Like, if you had to go and look at like Beast Coast, for example, they put South America on the map when they won the one major. Like, after that, people were like, "Whoa, Brazil! Like, whoa, where these guys come from?" 2, 3, 5 years later, all of a sudden, these O's are like consistently beating North America out of the major, and like doing very, very well in the global scene of things. I'd say the biggest issue from there would actually be exposure. But I mean, that is a super far off idea of where we are at the moment. The bigger thing right now would be to nurture and to kind of grow the esports scene locally and have the guys have healthy competition here. And then you can start saying, okay, these O's are ready. Like, they're burning up. They want to go. They want to do things. The Castaway, for example, he doesn't have the opportunity to, but he, at the same time, he's made his own way. Like, he's had the skills necessary to be scouted by an international team, and he's dedicated. Like, that man plays at abnormal hours. He plays at like very weird, like I believe it's a Southeast Asian team. Like, he had to be able to communicate with these guys in a different way than he is used to. So he's had a lot of like sacrifice and a lot of things that he's had to put into to actually get that to where it is. So, I mean, yeah, you can't really compare that to anything that's happening in South Africa at the moment.
So, guys, I believe we need one team, right? Just one team from SA somewhere to do something, right? Have you seen the movie? I think it's Cool Runnings, right? A country like Jamaica going to the Winter Olympics and doing bobsleigh and underdog story, and eventually now they're quite good at bobsleighing, right? So I believe if we do a combined effort as South African Dota, right, to get some kind of a team together and send them out and support them, and that's a way to get us on the map, is just getting one group of 5 guys and send them out. Go do things.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what Bravado has done in CSGO, and we are waiting for that team to happen in Dota as well at some point. For sure.
Well, I really hope it does, because, like we said, they are players with
for sure,
tremendous
yes,
talent.
but we have good players.
It's absolutely crazy, but yeah, it's really, really crazy. So, the last and the hardest question of the day, which is a surprise question. Besides Dota 2, so you can't say Dota 2, that's not the answer. Because we asked this, I asked every guest this. Okay. What is your all-time favorite game?
Diablo.
Okay, but you can't say Dota 2.
Diablo
because,
1, 2, and 4 coming out. 3, I'm not talking about.
Oh, so have you pre-ordered?
Yes, but I just need some cash flow. But I want to do it. I want to do it.
Me too, man.
So I'm a Diablo freak. Yes, I love it.
Fantastic. Awesome. Okay. And so just tell me why. What was it?
Yes, but we played Diablo 1, right? I think it's the Butcher. Going in, you're trying to learn this game, and you're getting some kills on zombies and skeletons, and suddenly this fat, can't swear here, this fat Bluxum just starts kicking your ass, and you have to think, how am I going to take this guy ever down? Then, okay, you can level up. And eventually we got like tactics where you hide him behind like a staircase. Then you take 20 minutes and shoot him down. I just love every part of Dota. And the idea that I could play with my brothers and my friends with like over LANs. It always took 2 days to set up, and you can only play a few hours. But yes, it was so nice.
I remember you had to bring your whole big box PC.
Wow,
yeah, I remember. Yes, those were, and I remember how heavy our screens were. The CTR screens were heavy.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the one. Sorry. And you, Mr. Brown, what besides Dota, what would be your favorite game?
So, I actually initially, when I got into things, it was like StarCraft 1 and Warcraft 2. I actually, when Warcraft 3 came out, they used to have online tournaments, and I'm talking about in the days where ADSL just hit. Like just after we had the ISD and stuff, I actually participated in a Warcraft 3 online tournament, and I got invited to go to a North American tournament. And my dad was like, absolutely no.
Wow.
So, because I mean, esports at that point was still like, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing. So like, he's not gonna happen. But so real-time strategy games in general. I've had a lot of success in the StarCraft 2 pro scene before I moved back to like Dota and League. Well, first League and then Dota. So yeah.
StarCraft 2. But like that esports scene, but the whole StarCraft. Well, look, okay, I'm a Blizzard entertainment junkie. I loved
before they became Activision. Yes, 100%.
Yes, 100%. But at least now Activision's disappearing and they're going now with Microsoft. So hopefully things are going to start changing. Because my all-time favorite game, World of Warcraft. I mean, and I've seen now with the slight change that there are slight changes that are in the beta for Blizzard. But StarCraft, amazing. Yeah. StarCraft 2.
Yeah.
What? And have you ever watched the esports?
Scarlet is my favorite. Yeah. I love Scarlet Zerg playing. Yo.
Oh no, Cyril is where it's at.
Scarlet kicks ass.
I mean,
have
you seen good. So I read an article once where they were saying that StarCraft 2 is by far the hardest esports to reach at the highest tier, because those oaks are like competing with, like, you are acting. You pretty much you have to be a robot. Those oaks have hotkeys. Their whole keyboard is a hotkey for each individual
It looks like they're playing
It's
piano the whole time,
unreal.
like an invoker player in a team fight. They do that the entire game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and they just have a million
That's
more
crazy.
buttons to push, and then they control it.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
There-
but
there was
yeah.
a-
So StarCraft and Diablo.
There was a Russian player called Whitera back in Wings of Liberty. He was my number
Yes,
one
he is.
favorite player. Unfortunately, he retired. But I mean, StarCraft has gone from like strength to strength in general in their esports scene and have grown tremendously, absolutely tremendously. There was a scandal recently, which kind of sucks, but I mean, which sport doesn't
Yeah.
have that? So
Unfortunately, like in any, it's when money's involved, there will always be some form of scandal, and you can't get around it. You can be a professional basketball player, and there will be money
Yeah.
issues somewhere.
oh, yeah,
That's just it. So, but yeah, so Diablo,
good game.
StarCraft,
Yeah.
Warcraft.
Oh yeah.
Have you just seen the pattern?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all
for
It's
Blizzard
all
sure.
games.
Blizzard games. And
Diablo,
Dota was a
Warcraft.
Blizzard. Dota was a Blizzard game as
It
well.
was
Yeah, we played
Yeah.
it.
it was on the engine, the Warcraft 3
Yeah.
engine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I played the shit out of
it. Guys, techies, right? What I did is with the old Warcraft, I would TP to the top lane and put in front of the secret shop like 5 mines, right? And put a clarity potion on top, right? And then you just sit down, wait for the 2 guys to come to lane, then they fight over that clarity. Then you get a double kill. That was like my cheesy
Your
strat
signature.
when I was a kid. Yes, I loved it.
I also remember just with techies, there was a certain way, like when you're playing against bots, like so when you're practicing before you really want to jump online and just embarrass yourself. I remember in the bottom lane, you learned the path of the bots. So you'd place a bomb here, here, and here, and that bot didn't give a shit. He just ran straight, went boom, 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 dead, and you could do that for like 10 minutes straight, and you just get solid kills every single time. And then 10 minutes of the game, this bot has like a brown boots and you're rocking like 4 items. You're just like, well, easy game.
Funny enough,
But yeah, no.
funny enough, the way I got into Dota was my math teacher. I just went to high school, and my math teacher, like I used to play Sudoku with him. And then the one time he's like, listen, we're having a little LAN with the other teachers and stuff, and invite some friends over. So we were like 10 guys, and that was my first Dota match ever.
That's nice. 10 on 10 action.
Hectic.
Wow. Or 5 on 5. That's
No, it was five on 5.
Five on
Yeah,
five,
but I
that's
mean,
good.
yeah,
And the thing is, when you
I think we were like,
Oh, sorry, I took that the wrong way.
no man.
I took that.
So yeah,
this is a PG
Sorry.
PG podcast.
I know
think my
you PG,
first
but
Dota game
well,
we played against the Abaddon, and the guy already played 5 or 6 games, so we didn't understand his ulti. So you think you're killing him, and suddenly his life is full. And yes, it's such a hard game to
Yeah.
actually learn. That first 20 or 30 games, it's
No, definitely. Dota it's an incredibly intricate game, and like I take nothing away from League players. That it's a completely different ball game, or any other game like that. I mean, I don't play League of Legends, or I'm lying to you. I play League of Legends on my phone. I play the mobile version because I rock that game. It's unreal. But anyway, I'm not gonna blow my own horn. That game is really good, but it's very different. You still have items and all this stuff like that, but it's vastly different. It's vastly different, and it's just Dota is by far in my personal opinion, and I believe in my personal capacity, that it is the most intricate MOBA there is, hands down. Sorry,
Yeah.
there's so much going on, and like you said, for people to master Dota, like it's
yes, but it's such a love-hate
need a
relationship
brain.
as well, right? I've given my life to techies, right, in Dota, and they just take him away. It's like I have this muscle
They change
memory
it.
that I don't know how to use anymore. Like stacking mines is
Oh yeah.
yes, they're
Yeah.
plasives. Taking
Oh,
away
those
my
good days.
sacrifice
Good
skill on Leech. Yes, that was
Oh,
such a
yeah.
lucky skill, though.
Holy
Oh,
moly. Jeez, like, do you remember? I think it was in Dota 1. So before we end this, but this was just remember. I think it was Dota 1. Like only certain champions. I know it also happened in Dota 2, but then everyone got agnums. But in
Like
Dota
a
1, there was
couple,
only
yeah.
like
A few, yeah.
handful of
Yeah,
champions got agnums. And Lich, you just used to. You literally didn't have to do anything. When there's a team fight, you just run, throw your ult, and you could go walk back to base, and you would get a rampage.
The one thing I do
Because
miss.
it was just so. It was so
Yeah,
stupid.
it's
The
was
one thing I
actually a
do miss
mid-year,
are the Quake announcer sounds.
Yeah, Rampage,
Oh,
Ultra Kill.
Rah, 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 rah. Yeah, monster.
Yeah, well, I wonder why they got.
It's
no, that
right.
was- that's
It's
classic.
right.
No, for sure.
It's because
That's-
of
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
It's because it was built in
Okay.
Warcraft 3 and they retain all the rights of any
Yeah.
custom
Fair enough.
game there. So they weren't allowed to take
Fair
it
enough.
over.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, gentlemen. I think it's been a good one. It's been an absolute pleasure having you guys here, and I hope you
No, for sure.
had a
It was
good time
like
too.
Hundreds, yeah.
And I hope that whoever's watching this has had a bit of information as to what you guys are, what you stand for, and a little bit. We also dived a little bit into just the Dota scene as a whole. That from obviously our personal opinions, we are probably not Dota 2 experts yet.
So can
I
I
don't think
throw
you can
a,
ever be one.
But
can I throw a little ad here? Okay, guys.
Yes,
so
of course
we're
you
doing
can,
ladder,
of
right?
course.
It's only 2 best out of ones per week. The higher you end, the more entries you get into like a month end lucky draw. And yeah, if you want more info, go to www.cmldota.com. We should be between 20 and 30 teams comes April. And yeah, hopefully when we get electricity back later, we can go back to proper divisions and beer mugs. But for now, the ladder is the way to go, guys. Best out of ones.
no, perfect. And I think, like I said, man, wish you guys both all the best. But obviously, this is not like we won't be talking forever again. It's just how we sign off. But I wish CML like the absolute best and immense success in the future, which I know you guys are going to achieve. And the foundations are there, and the company is very capable of doing it. So I wish you all the best, and continue with what you're doing. It's for the love of Dota. It's for the love of the South African esports scene. You just keep doing what you're doing right now, because I guarantee you, like I remember in one of your streams, someone did say, we want to see CML on main stage at Rage, for example. That can happen.
That's the plan.
Will happen. It will. You can do it, and I know that this organization can do it. You're doing immense work for the entirety of the Dota 2 industry in South Africa. Do not stop, please. Don't stop. And yeah. So, gentlemen, I'm going to sign out and just say thank you very much for everything. And guys, whoever's watching, this will be posted onto YouTube. It'll be edited and make us put a little makeup on us so we look even more sexy than we really are. And it'll be on Spotify, all the YouTube. It'll be on TikTok, Instagram. There'll be clips of this, all the funny moments of us making fools of ourselves. And yeah, I'll also link everything in the description below. You can follow CML, please. Like, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. Support them. Again, like I said, you can watch previous videos, watch some of the local artists that are making massive waves in the South African industry. There is so much talent in South Africa. I'm not there right now, but I'm pretending like I am. But there is so much talent that you need to support. The more local people, the more we support the local people and the local communities get together, that's what it's about. That's how we change the esports in South Africa. It's collaborating. It's small streamers collaborating together to build themselves as a unit, instead of just being, let me build myself to 500,000 followers and you have one. It's to build that unity.
Can I take a little bit of an initiative here? If they I'm sure you've spoken to a few guys, but if there are any like artists, content creators, or like musicians who in the South African scene who are gamers or whatever, like please contact Divan as well, because like he has that what is it, Super Sunday?
Yeah, next week, guys, it's going to be massive.
So like he has live entertainment. He really gets those guys involved as well. It's not just about the Dota. It's about the community. It's about growing something that everyone is super passionate about. And would be cool to have those guys get engaged as well.
100%. I'll definitely, like I said, I will put all the links down in the description below, and obviously I can't do it live on Twitch, but when it's cut, you can follow the YouTube video. I will send you guys all the details as well, and I will definitely, the people that I know and speak to, I will definitely put it in there, and then there will be an article for you guys to read. So there'll be an overall discussion for everyone to read the article. You can go to www.ghettosmurfgaming.com. You can read some of the articles that are there already. There's a lot happening with that as well. We're revamping the entire website. It's going to be literally a lot of work. But the entirety of the website, I don't want to really spoil it now until we do the real big launch. But I'm just going to say that when you go onto the website, you're going to think you are actually playing a game.
That's super
visually. Cool. That's what's going to be happening. So, but that's going to still take some time. But in the meantime, you can go. This article will be up probably next week sometime. The YouTube video will be up next week sometime. So everybody, I will leave you the link in the description, and you can just follow everything. Gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure, and I wish you all the best. And good luck for your games.
I'm drafting 8 for the coffins. Post 5, boys.
I hope you get a rampage. You show us support, love, because supports are the way to go. We're not garbage. We actually matter.
Oh yeah.
But cheers, bud. Thanks for having us. It's been an absolute pleasure to be here.
It's only a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And
Cheers,
have
guys.
a good one.
Good chats. Keep well. Cheers.
Cheers, boys.